Let's have a conversation about using people. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I have a commenter here. I did a post on the dread game, and this person says, what is it called when a person plays nice to keep you around because they can't live on their own? My fiance has admitted to doing this with her ex-husband and her mother. She cut her mother off for 4 years and only let her back in for help with her kids and all the free stuff that her mom brings over. It's good old fashioned using 101 is what I call it. You are essentially using people for the goods, the resources, what they have to offer. So that could be sex, that could be money, that could be a place to stay, that could be for the gifts that they bring. Childcare, labor, things like that. When you're using that, that's just basic using someone. It's like I don't necessarily like you as a person, or I don't necessarily value having a relationship with you, but I will tolerate you because I like what you give to me. I like how I benefit from you. I like how my life improves with you around. And this could be, anything from like material goods, places and things, places to save money and things like that, to things like social status. So it could range from any number of things, but that's called user 101. Right now, I see this really glamorized on social media a lot lately. Like, I don't necessarily like you. I'm not necessarily attracted to you. I don't necessarily want to be bothered with you, but I will develop a transactional relationship with you. You get to be around me or my children, and I will entertain you for 5 minutes, but you better come with some stuff and make it worth my while. I also would not be surprised if we see a good uptick, a fair amount of uptick in this due to the economic challenges that are on the rise, where people become super transactional and they normalize it. You see it normalized on social media. I've seen it normalized, just in relationships in general, but there does seem to be an increase overall because it's normalized now. It's also, respectfully to this commenter, it's also behavior that you want to pay attention to. In my opinion, when you have people that normalize this kind of stuff with their own family or with multiple people, there's nothing to say that they won't do it with you, because that could be their personality. That could be who they are at their core. And this is, a survival skill that they have perfected in terms of being in relationships with people. I won't say that they're not exceptions, because there certainly are. But, when you start to see people who are very comfortable doing that and talking about that and laughing about it, and they could care less, that's something that you want to look out for in terms of your own relationship with that particular person. I think there's also something to be said where a person doesn't want to um, do do the hard work on their own, or you know earn money on their own, or take care of their own needs. There's something to me that can be and again, there's exceptions, but to me, there's something quite parasitic when someone is very comfortable saying, you know what, I'll use you for a free place to stay, I'll use you for money and stuff like that, but I don't really care, because I'm all about me, and so that person is very self-serving, but it also tells you. Um, I think it also tells you a lot about where a person will put their efforts. Like, will they roll up their sleeves and do the hard work? Or is it easier for them to go and use somebody? Again, that's also something to be on the alert for when it comes to your own relationship, because when someone is very cavalier and casual about that, that means that they're saying that there's nothing to it. They don't feel bad about using other people. And why I say you may want to pay attention to it. And I don't know you and I don't know this person, but this is just for anybody watching, right? So I'm not saying anything about your relationship. But when you're comfortable sort of using a person in another relationship, that's they could also do that with you as well. So an example of this is I used to work with a person, and she was very comfortable doing this. I mean, she was doing all the stuff that a lot of these dating coaches talk about now. I used to see her do it in action. And this was a woman who was married, but she had no problem, flirting with other men, and talking to other men, pretending to be interested in them to get them to do things for her. So her whole thing would be like, I'm going to flirt with this man. I don't care if I'm married or not. And this is not any judgment. I'm just telling you, what I saw. Um, I'm going to flirt with this man and he's going to give me some money. I'm going to have some shopping money. I'm going to have some bills, and I don't care. I don't need to tell my husband anything, but I'm going to use as many people as I can to get what I can get from them. And then it went from just men to both men and women, and basically anybody in her proximity, she would start using to get what she can get, because her whole thing was, I look good. So therefore, anybody, people should pay me just for me talking to them and just to exist because I look good. And so therefore I'm going to get what I can get. And I don't even feel bad about it. And that was her whole thing. And needless to say, we don't have a relationship. But it got to be kind of like, at first it was like, oh my gosh, you kind of do men dirty, girl. But then it was like men and women. So then it was like, it was very clear to see that it didn't matter who you were or what you were about. She was going to do that for anybody, just out of her own selfishness. So anyhow, that's my take on that. So good luck. Thanks so much for asking that question. I'm sure there's a lot of other people who could benefit from that. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and give me a follow and subscribe to the newsletter. Thank you so much.